From the rolling fields in the south to the boreal forests in the north, Saskatchewan's food bounty overflows. As an author and journalist, I've spent the last decade tasting the best the province has to offer and telling stories to help us reconnect with our food. I'll take you on a field-to-plate journey to discover our finest ingredients and the people behind it all. Because this isn't just my story, it's Saskatchewan's.
Saskatchewan is a great place for producing honey because we have these huge fields of flowers. If you're driving down the highway and you smell that sweet smell as you go by a field, that's the nectar that's actually evaporating out of the flowers. And while those fields are blooming, we have these huge populations of bees that can fly in long days and put those things together and you got nice big honey crops. I'm Ian Eaton. I own Good Eatin' Honey with my wife Verna, and we produce the best honey around.
Bees are a vital part of the ecosystem and help make our diverse agricultural bounty possible. Of all Canadian provinces, Saskatchewan produces the second highest amount of honey, up to 23 million pounds a year, and our beekeeping industry is responsible for some of the most flavorful honey you'll ever taste.
So I have about 700 colonies in 14 locations. As a beekeeper, I'm helping bees do what they do naturally. And I just give them the best opportunity to grow fast and then bring it all in and get it all extracted before the cold winter comes along, and then we got to prepare them for the winter because they're not native to this country. They actually were brought in from Europe, so we have to give them a little help to get through our cold winters. One honeybee probably only brings in 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its whole life. And 70% of that is water. So that has to be then dehydrated down to about 18% moisture. Take that one little eye drop and bring it down to a fraction of that. That's actually what's left for honey in the comb. So you can think how many trips it has to make just to make that tiny little bit. So Jen, here's where the honey story starts, with the bees.
Oh my gosh, look at all of them.
So there's actually a few thousand bees in here, but in the middle of the summer, the really strong hives can get up to 100,000 bees in there.
Wow. And why do you use the smoke?
The main reason is to make sure that the guard bees are calmed down and so they don't come out and attack us.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there's the queen.
Where, which one?
Tell me when you see her.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Blue one. That's her. You found her.
Oh my gosh.
A little blue dot on her.
Look at her.
Meaning that
she's a lot bigger.
the reason she's bigger is her whole rear end there is full of eggs, so that she can lay up to 2,000 eggs in one day, and she'll be laying several a minute.
Wow.
If you can see here, there's a little bee coming out of its cell. It's actually chewing its way out, and there's little young nurse bees ready to feed it.
Oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing.
Everybody here has a job. They're all doing something. The very, very young ones, the first thing they do is just help keep the brood warm. This is all pollen around the outside from different flower sources. The bees will take that and feed it to their young. And the queen, she gets a special food. She gets royal jelly. And that's from the pharyngeal glands of the young bees.
Oh, they're mesmerizing.
And really, they're very tame. I can
Look.
I can lift them right up with my finger like that.
Oh.
There's thousands of different insects out there that all have something to do with honey and pollinating, but it's only the honeybee that actually makes so much excess honey. So you've seen the bees. Now we'll go see what they've done. We've got the honey in the honey house. We'll do some extracting.
Okay. The honey house at Good Eatin' Honey is where Ian brings in all the frames from the hives and extracts the honey.
So we start by putting a frame onto here, and then here's your uncapping scratcher.
Okay, so we're taking off
So we want to take, want to take off the cappings.
Okay.
So that we can expose the honey so that it can actually fly out of the frame when it gets spun out. When the bees bring in the honey, it's actually not honey yet, it's nectar. and it goes into their special honey stomach. They have these glands that actually add enzymes to the nectar, which is actually what becomes honey then.
And how long does it take the bees to fill up one of these frames?
You know, they are amazing. One year they put 50 pounds of honey in the hive in one day. So that's more than a whole box. That's more than 9 frames of honey.
In one day?
In one day. All right, now we got a whole conveyor full so we can get them all pushed together. Now those are all gonna come tight together. First thing, we need to push up the hood.
Fancy.
Here we go.
Like this fast?
Yeah, 30
Look at
frames
that.
coming in. So now we are gonna spin this. And away we go.
Woo! Look at that.
Oh, it's starting to come out already.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got the frames all extracted. We've got the honey in the sump coming up the pipe, and now we're gonna fill a barrel.
Oh, this is cool.
Okay, Jen, you want the honors?
Yes.
Open up the valve.
Okay. Ooh.
Pure gold.
I love honey. It's my favorite.
You can imagine the number of bees that had to travel to make all this honey. Go down, 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 down. Shut her off all the way. There we go. So we're gonna put the lid on.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
And that is now
locked up tight.
set
Yeah.
for shipping.
thousands of insects help pollinate plants and food crops, but it's only the honeybee that makes an excess of honey. Beekeepers like Ian manage the colonies in order to get that delicious honey from the hive to your kitchen.
Every culture has its own historical, traditional alcohol. The genesis of those things are lost in time. There's no historical record of it at all. But the concept of accidentally producing alcohol from honey is very compelling because it is very, very easy. All you need is for your honey to get wet. There's always wild yeast on honey, so the slightest bit of moisture to dissolve the sugars in the honey, the right temperature is all you need for that yeast to start doing its thing and creating, happy juice. So, my name is Crystal Milburn. I'm one of the owners at Prairie Bee Meadery. I'm partners in the business with my parents and my husband. What we do is we work with all Saskatchewan honey. So our main fermentable is honey, and that is all produced locally. The flavors are just so lovely, so delicate, and they translate really, really well into the wine. Through the fermentation process, we keep some of those nice floral flavors without the intense sweetness, so you get that lovely, that taste of Saskatchewan. You can tell the difference between grapes grown in California and grapes grown in France. It's the same thing. Honey produced in Saskatchewan is going to have a different flavor from the honey produced in Alberta or Manitoba or down in the States. And those flavors are what make it special and unique.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Jen.
What are we tasting?
Well, I've got 3 for you to try this morning. So we're gonna start with our traditional bee. It's very simple. All that's in it is honey, water, and of course the yeast. Those are the 3 ingredients you need to make mead.
So simple.
Yeah, it's very much like a nice, light, crisp little white wine.
Oh, I really like that. Wow. It's definitely not as sweet as I would have imagined.
No, this one is finished off dry. So I have drier wines even than this, and I certainly have sweeter wines. Next, we're gonna try something fruity. This is my Haskap. They're super fruit, right? Lots of antioxidants, lots of vitamin C, grown right here in Saskatchewan. We oak this one as well, so you get those kind of undertones of toasty caramel, which is really, really pretty. When we're sourcing fruit, we start in Saskatchewan, so we start at our own farm. After that, we kind of go out to other Saskatchewan growers, try to see what we can find locally. But I have had people ask, about doing some more exotic flavors, but my answer is always no. We're doing strictly Canadian grown, so
No pineapple mead here.
no pineapple mead. I do have another something new coming down the pipeline.
Do you?
I do. Would you like to come see how it is we do what we do?
I would love to.
You'll have to get changed though.
Okay. Crystal takes me from the storefront to their meadery just outside Moose Jaw to share the process of turning honey into mead.
So what I have here are some barrels of caramelized honey. Instead of raw honey, it's been cooked and caramelized. And a mead made with caramelized honey is called a bochet. So first thing we're gonna do is get our pump hooked up to this tank. This is the one that we'll be working in. And then we're gonna dive in and get sticky. Come on over here to where our honey is located. There we go.
Oh, it smells incredible.
Yeah, so this has been caramelized, so it's, those nice sort of caramelly aromas, and it's very dark. In order to move the honey into the tank, it's gotta be liquid, so it's been warmed, and we're gonna be able to pump it. We need that hose, so I want you to go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
Pop it right in. Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Other hose. Okay, we're gonna hang on to that.
Okay.
All right.
Woo!
That's it.
Cool.
Right now the tank's only about a quarter full, so it needs to be fuller. We have to dilute that honey with a lot more water.
Okay.
So we're gonna start pouring water in, we're gonna turn the pump on, let it mix up, and then we're gonna start doing some tests and see if we need more honey or more water or what's going on. So fermentation is where glucose is transformed into carbon dioxide and ethanol. So all you need to have fermentation is a source of sugar. Honey is sugar. That's what it is. People don't like it when I say that yeast eat sugar and excrete alcohol, but that's basically the truth. Those are our magic little friends in there doing what they do. So we're gonna let them alone. We're gonna watch temperature on this and make sure that it's within the right range before we pitch it into the tank. We don't wanna shock the yeast. It can kill them if they change temperatures too quickly. So I'll probably start feeding it in about half an hour. So I'm gonna get you to pitch the yeast. What you're gonna do is it's a nice slow pour in one spot.
The yeast like to stay all together.
They do, they're like a little family.
And the party begins.
Yes,
Woo.
ready to feast, so we're done.
Okay, so we're all done?
That's it, that's the last step.
Wow, Crystal, I have a much greater appreciation for what goes into making mead now.
It's a lot of steps. So the yeast are gonna do their job. They'll be at it for a few weeks, and then I've got some more work to do, and then I'll send you a bottle in a couple months.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Making mead is relatively simple, just yeast, honey, and water. Yet it takes skill, time, and precision to balance the sweetness and floral notes of Saskatchewan honey.
I was born in India and I lived in Mumbai most of my life. Yeah, the food scene in India it's so different. I still can't cook like my mom. My mom would use vinegar, and the combination of vinegar with spices really brings out the aromas. And I could smell it 2 blocks away, so I know what the menu is gonna be, or at least I would guess. You know, it's so different. I miss it, and it's fresh. Everything is fresh, right? So I was fascinated with food. I love food, so that's where it all started. I'm a gypsy, so every time I learn something and I think I've contributed enough, I would move on. The first 7 years I lived in the Persian Gulf. And then I got an opportunity on the cruise ships. We did the Caribbean, Mexico, North America. And then I was offered an opportunity to go to school in US. I joined a master's program. In the process, I met some very good chefs, worked in New York, New Jersey. My immigration process was taking too long. So the idea was to come to Canada, do my stamping, and go back to New York. But once I came, I fell in love with it. And the rest is history. My name is Milton DeBello. I own Sky Cafe and Bistro with my wife, Louise. I like the balance of ingredients, the balance of flavors. Honey is a big part of it, but that was how I was taught as well. Our curries are spicy. Everything that is spicy, you add a little bit of honey, it neutralizes the dish, or it gives it a complete different blend. And honey is a beautiful balance to it. It balances the acid, it brings out the aromas. There is a spring honey, there's a fall honey. I love the spring honey. It's much more clearer. You can actually taste the flowers. I glaze my fish with it, with chili and lemon. I use honey in glazing my carrots. The color that it gives, the texture that it gives, brilliant. I love it. And it takes it to a completely different level. And keeping it as organic as possible, it's working.
This is really cool. I get to be in your kitchen with you, Chef Milton, and you're gonna teach me how to make one of your signature salads, right? What are we making?
This is my favorite salad. It's cucumber wrapped baby greens. We're gonna put some mango pears and some mint. So what I normally do is I start this way, Jen.
And so now to make the wrap, I'm laying them out. And
Laying them out, you can do
Okay.
5 or 6.
We've got all this beautiful, fresh garden produce, right?
And it's gluten-free.
Oh, perfect.
And then I put mango. So this gives the sweetness to it. Then you roll these guys.
Thank you, chef.
Brilliant, yeah. And now you just roll
Oh my
it.
goodness.
Perfect, that's beautiful. No, that is perfect. Yeah. Then all you do is, Jen, if you cut this guy from the bottom, yeah,
Okay.
all these layers, I shingle them. So and look at it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it is. All those colors.
Now we can make the dressing. So, Jen, we use 2 parts of oil to 1 part of honey.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'll quickly get some orange zest.
So why do you like using the honey in this dressing?
Honey just makes it right. I mean, it gives the sweetness to it, plus it gives the body, and it helps in thickening up the dressing. Half an orange, lemon. So this gives the acid, and then all you do is add that, Jen.
Oh, look at that color.
Yeah, it really
Wow.
pops, eh? A little bit of mustard,
This is your homemade mustard, right?
pickled mustard, yes.
And I get to shake it up.
Yep. It's so easy to make, you know?
So easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks good.
And now the test, you have to taste it.
Oh, I get to
See
taste
if you
it?
like it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Milton.
It's fresh, right? Yeah. So then we put a little bit on the salad. That's a cucumber wrap salad.
It's so simple.
Yeah, it is. I've been in Canada since 2004, and I travel coast to coast. I worked with Fairmont hotels, I worked with the Western hotels. I enjoyed the role of being a hotel chef, wearing a fancy hat and, you know, keeping a nice crisp white jacket. But once you put the tick marks, then you start seeing what is more important. And when we opened the restaurant, it made everything right. The intention was always there to have our own place where we would do seed to plate, we would do pottery and, you know, finally live. We started with this concept of 5 elements on each plate, 5 textures, 5 colors, 5 flavors. Because us cooks are notorious. You give us 5 seconds and we put 5 more things that are not required and distort the flavor. Honey worldwide, it doesn't taste like the honey here in Saskatchewan. I want people to experience it. So I bring out this 2-3 different spoons so they taste the difference between the 2 or 3 honeys. And really it blows their mind. They have never looked at it that way. So it's fun, you know, it's like the experience and I wouldn't say educating, but it's just making people aware of what actually goes in our food.
Honey is a versatile kitchen staple for Chef Milton. It's his favorite way to add sweetness and body or to balance heat and acidity in everything from salads and entrees to desserts.
So honey is the theme today, and I've used honey in most of the preparation. Starting with the trout, I've put honey, lemon, chili. We got cucumber wrap baby greens with mango, pears, and peppers. And we have, of course, pork belly. That I put apple and honey again. So yeah, enjoy.
Amazing.
And I'm going to join you.
Okay, Chef, where do we begin?
The fish should be the best. So start and enjoy.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Presentation is absolutely fabulous.
Isn't this beautiful?
It smells so good.
So Milton and Louise have lived and cooked all over the world. And then you bring all these flavors to Regina.
Well, we are lucky to be here 10 years in Saskatchewan.
Is this a fork salad or a finger salad?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And so this is your first time at Sky?
Yes, I have never been here before. So what a wonderful introduction to it. This is amazing.
So you get to discover their restaurant. They're discovering your meat.
That's right.
We need the honey man in the middle.
I love the different tastes of honey as the season changes.
The first batch in spring, you can really taste the flowers. That's our favorite.
Yeah.
Caragana honey we get here, and dandelion honey.
Dandelion honey, yes.
On a mass scale, we produce mostly the white, mild honeys that everyone in the world loves.
Because the commercial honey is quite different than the smaller artisanal batches. Yeah.
It's like tasting wine, right?
Well, that's the thing people tend not to realize about mead. Mead is as diverse as wine is. So you can be as unique as an area of France in terms of champagne and things like that because of the way that honey comes out from the local flowers or whatever that looks like.
We want to know where it comes from, how it's grown, and then Of course, I've got the biggest critic who lives with me. So yeah, that's a compliment, Mama.
I like that you call her Mama. It's so cute.
Well, he used to call me honey, right, honey?
So when I was at Crystal's, she taught me how to make a boucher. Did I say that right?
You did, yes. So a boucher is a mead that you make with caramelized honey.
And this is the first time you've done that?
Yes.
So you make a huge batch very first time?
Well, yeah, I was
That's
gonna,
pretty brave.
I was gonna do small trial batch. But then I was like, nah, just whatever, just do it. So
Good for you.
Well, Milton and Louise, thank you for inviting us in for dinner and making this Saskatchewan feast. It was such an honor.
It's our pleasure.
No, it's a joy. Thank you.
Well, you know what? Most meals end with a nice sweet. So how about some sweet honey on this beautiful bread you've made?
I like this idea. Yeah, me too.
You're right in there, I see.
Oh, yeah. No waiting for me. I'm all over that.
From the rolling fields in the south to the boreal forests in the north, Saskatchewan's food bounty overflows. As an author and journalist, I've spent the last decade tasting the best the province has to offer and telling stories to help us reconnect with our food. I'll take you on a field-to-plate journey to discover our finest ingredients and the people behind it all. Because this isn't just my story, it's Saskatchewan's. There are a lot of misconceptions about cattle and ranching. However, the whole story is not being told. Some of the world's last remaining grasslands are in southern Saskatchewan. Cattle and the ranchers who raise them are vital to keep these grasslands thriving.
Our farm is a true family farm. My wife and I and our 2 kids, we also work with my parents. When we used to manage the cattle, they were in larger pastures. So when we moved them to a summer pasture, they'd be there for months at a time. And we started to realize some of the benefits there were for moving them more often, and we got to where we are today, where a lot of times we'll move them once a day.
Mark and Laura, I can't believe your pastures this year. It looks incredible. Tell me what you're doing out here that's making it so vibrant and lush and green.
Well, we keep moving the cattle about once a day if we can, and the idea is to not to take everything, but just to take a little bit and allow the plants to keep growing and to recover.
The rule of thumb is kind of when it's green and growing fast, you move the cows fast, and then when it's growing more slowly, you can move the cows more slowly, because you never want to let it grow back and then have them graze it again before while they're still in the same area.
So to me right now, I mean, this looks really healthy and beautiful. Why are you moving the cattle every day?
A big part of rotational grazing isn't so much planning what to do today, but what you want this to look like when you want to use it the next time. There's very few things we actually think about when we think about nutrients. We think about the protein and maybe the iron that comes in beef, but proper cycling soil and really healthy grass has many more phytochemicals and vitamins, and it's full of the little things that just help to make the livestock and the meat and eventually the people who eat it healthier. So this is kind of what we really like to see. She's got what you'd call guts. She's just a round.
Yeah, she looks so healthy.
Yeah.
How can you tell how they're doing at this point in the season?
The shiny coat is a really good indication of how healthy they are. The other is how fat they look. Like you can see a lot of them have a decent round to their belly and
a flat back, kind of, and rounded on back. And because they move every day, they know that this means new grass right away, so they come. Yeah.
So that's why they're so excited. They're not excited to see us necessarily. They know they're going to be going to new grass right away.
Excited to go past us. Yeah,
it's supper
that's
time.
right.
They don't all have the same personal space boundaries.
Right.
Yeah, they're not opposed to bumping you if you're in the way.
They may not respect my bubble.
That's right, they may not.
All right, well, let's get going. How do I do this?
We're going to put these 2 together.
Okay.
I'll let you do that.
All right.
Yeah, you want the notches at the
ouch.
top. Yeah, and then we're just going to lift the fence and let them through.
Okay. Are you ready, girls?
I'd say yes.
The family moves their cattle to new sections of pasture every day. Rotational grazing improves the soil and grass health while keeping carbon in the ground.
It's easy to drill down on a certain thing, a gas, a methane, and say this is a problem and cattle are part of that. But They're part of a natural system that was here long before we got here, grasslands and grazing ruminants. That's a system that worked until we broke it. So if we can do anything to mimic the way it worked originally, then we can kind of get that cycle back on track. And once you can come out and you can see see how healthy the land is, it's pretty easy to convince people that it's not really the cow's fault.
And what have you found the impact to be on the finished product, on the grass-finished beef, when you're using the rotational grazing and taking the grass health into account?
The healthier you can keep the grass, the healthier you can keep the soil, the more nutrients that passes on into the grass, and then the livestock end up not only in better health because they've got a better balanced diet, but it also improves the quality and the flavor of the meat.
The cattle can select what they need in their diet, if they need more of a legume, more of a grass, or whatever they need, which also helps them be healthier, have the vitamins and minerals they need, which passes right on through to the beef too.
So when we started down the road of managing our pastures better, we started to really like the results. We liked the way that the grass was responding. We liked the way that the cattle were responding, and the health of our herd was improving. And it's really satisfying to have people eat something that you've spent a lot of work on and enjoy it so much and appreciate it so much. It's important to us that we leave the land in better shape than we found it, and the business itself. It's important that all of those things get tied together so that the next generation should come back to the farm with tons of enthusiasm and pride and just wanting to build on what's happened before. And that's kind of what we're hoping for.
By mimicking nature, the Heimer family is regenerating their land, creating healthier soil and grass, which equals healthier cattle. The nutrients in the grass are passed along to the cattle, which then turn that into nutritious and flavorful grass-finished beef.
Out here in the cattle industry, we kind of do what our grandpa did, what our dad did, which I think is some ways is okay, but we got to start taking some chances and start taking a little bit of risk. Like ranching's a great life. And I mean, Southwest Saskatchewan, there's a lot of great cattle ranchers and they're very good at what they do. But a lot of people maybe are just complacent of just doing that. And I think why maybe more people don't do it is because it is a risk. It's something different because we're taking something that we see physically born, we raise it up to finish, we take it, we process it, and we sell it out the front door, I call it, to the public. Our place is fourth generation right now. We're around 110 years been on this location. We use the horses to work the cattle, to move the cattle, sort cattle. When I first got out of school, I got working in the oil field and had a very good job, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. This was what I wanted to do. You know, it's a great place to live and blessed to have the opportunity to be able to raise some cattle out there. I'm Vince Stevenson, owner of Carricane Farms and Ranch House Meat Company, located in Shaunavon, Saskatchewan.
Along with raising 500 head of cattle, Vince owns Ranch House Meats in Shaunavon, a town of about 1,700. That means he controls the supply chain, and his customers know exactly where their beef comes from.
We started about 10 years ago and just kind of had an idea on a summer holiday. I kind of felt in this area we could do a better job of what people were getting offered, and kind of come home and laid out the idea, and kind of next thing you know, here we are.
Why did you want to take the value-added route, and what does that mean for you rather than selling it in the traditional commodity market?
And it's sure nice to see our product from start to finish, from a little calf right when it comes into the butcher shop, that knowing that's kind of some satisfaction of raising it, and we can raise good stuff. And I just wanted to give people another choice.
Tell me about your new manager. I hear you have a new butcher here.
His name is Corey, and he has took a tremendous amount off my shoulders, and it allows me to do what I love to do, and my passion is raising cattle.
All right, Corey, we're at the butcher shop. Tell me what we're gonna do today.
Okay, so today I'm gonna bring out a side of beef for you, and we're gonna break it down into the different parts, and then we're going to do a tomahawk steak.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna go grab the beef, we'll get started. Okay, Jen, so this is the rib section
Yeah.
of the beef. So is what we have here is the ribeye, and then right here we have the short rib section. So when we cut this on the saw to make the tomahawk, we're gonna cut here, and then that is going to leave the short rib attached to the ribeye, which will then have this nice bone attached to the ribeye, which gives the tomahawk its signature look.
What makes these ribeyes so good?
First off, they're one of the most tender cuts on the entire animal, as well as they're one of the most densely marbled. And the marbling is what we really look for, so we like all those little specks of fat in there, and that increases flavor and tenderness as well.
Wow.
Okay, Jen, so here's our unfinished tomahawk. Now what we want to do is we want to find where we think our steak is going to look the best. So this is usually about where we go. So from there, we'll just make a little line, and then we know kind of where to trim it.
Okay.
Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna clean off this short rib here.
Oh, and then you get that nice bone coming up.
That's right. So this kind of gives
Yeah.
that signature look, right?
What do you do with this?
This makes great hamburger.
Oh,
Great hamburger
perfect.
or stew, anything like that. We can turn it into something else to give a little bit more value to it, of course.
So many ways to use the cow, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
for sure.
So how do you know if it's too much fat? This would be extra, or that's okay?
We don't mind a little bit on the outside, maybe a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't want it to be too fatty, but this looks pretty perfect to me. So is what we have here is your beautiful tomahawk.
Wow, what a beauty.
As Corey explained, every part of the animal is used. After I learned a few butchering skills, Vince invited me to see how they work cattle on horseback and keep ranching traditions alive. We're out at the pasture. It's beautiful. Tell me a bit about this place.
Okay, right here, we're about 25 miles northwest of Shaunavon. Around 5,000 acres of rolling hills. We got trees, we got bush, we got creeks. Just couldn't be happier to have this place for our cattle to roam around.
There's about 500 head, you said, or cow-calf pairs?
About 500 right in here, yeah.
When you're out there, it's you and the horse and the animals. You know, we leave the cell phones in the truck and we experience the smell, the sounds. There's no therapy in the world that beats getting on a horse and just having some time to think, and it's just great. Everything here is grown off our own ranch. We're using everything that's from right close to here. So it's just a win-win for us. That's why I think it's unique.
For Vince, it's important to create employment opportunities in his community. Not only is he helping revive rural Saskatchewan, he's also providing high-quality beef products straight from his pasture to local dinner plate.
I truly was inspired to do this because of the way Europeans dine versus North Americans. I think North American mentality is that everything needs to be in an urban setting and convenient and right here and right now. And we wanted to slow it down. I think that was a really big, important part when I traveled through Italy and France and some of the amazing restaurants we ate at in small towns and the love and their gardens, and they wanted to show you and they wanted to bring you back, and you weren't just like a guest, you know, you're almost like part of their family and in their restaurant for a bit. And I thought like there was no feeling I ever had more than that than sitting around after a branding or a harvest and the meals we would have. So we wanted to create something that we wanted to eat at. We want to bring all the things that make coming to a small town amazing. And what is that? It's the people and the way they welcome you and they open their arms. And I wanted to showcase that. I wanted to showcase this side of Saskatchewan that's often like, oh, it's a little town, they're just a bunch of hicks. But they know how to have a good time. Like usually that's followed, oh, I had the best party, you know? And they're talking about the people. They're talking about the way they felt and the way they were brought in and the way they were welcomed into that community. And there needed to be restaurants like that in Canada. I'm Garrett Rusty Thenis, and I'm the owner and chef here at Harvest Eatery and the Blind Boar in Shaunavon, Saskatchewan.
Harvest Eatery is unique for several reasons, such as its partnership with Ranch House Meats, which supplies the restaurant Speckle Park beef and is located just across the street.
I met my wife, Christy, while working in Calgary. We'd take our coffee break across the street at the bar she worked at and have a quick cold beer, sometimes mid-shift, to be 20 again. That was 10 years ago. 3 years after that, I brought her up to this idea of opening a restaurant in Shaunavon, which was crazy. None of my friends wanted to invest, nobody wanted it, and people tried to talk me out of it, but we're opening beautiful restaurants in urban settings that are bringing us food from everywhere else, but we're not celebrating anything that we do. And we do a lot of things really well. For me, I really wanted to support my community, and Vince had opened the butcher shop across the street. The idea to me seems so obvious. This is where we're raising pulses, chickpeas, lentils, mustards, peas. We have pigs, chicken, eggs. That's who we are. And why isn't anybody doing this food? It wasn't as much about the grading, whether it was AAA, AA, prime. I just wanted to know the guy that was raising the beef, and I wanted to see those cattle and how they were being treated, and I wanted to know that from A to B before they ended up on your plate that they lived a really great life and that we weren't going to waste sections of that cow. So we focus on the menu on using as much of the cuts as possible, and what we can't they use in the store. And so I think about food in a sense of it being a really shared experience, and if you want to have a great meal, I don't know what chef you're going to go to of any worth that wouldn't say it starts with great ingredients.
Okay, chef, we're in your restaurant. You're gonna show me how to make one of my favorite dishes on the menu, the Speckle Park beef tataki with Speckle Park from Vince across the street.
That's right. Tataki was something I kind of eaten a lot, but with tuna normally. It's a very Japanese-centric dish. You need, 3-4 components that make it that way, which is green onion, sesame oil, ponzu, and then pickled ginger. But at the end of the day, what tataki celebrates is the meat on the plate. So we're not gonna mess with it too much. We're just gonna add a little touch of oil, and then we season with our salt and pepper. And a good salty crust also helps dry a little bit at the top of the meat. It'll pull the moisture so you get a really nice sear when you're coming down. But we're just going to set and then press it lightly because we wanna make sure our sear gets nice and even.
How long do you leave it now?
Depending on your temperature, I usually say about 30 to 45 seconds each side.
Oh, that's it. Wow.
Really, really quick, yeah. You want the inside to be blue rare so it melts, but you get a little crunch off the, off the texture on the outside stuff. A lot about food is not just contrasting and balancing flavors, but also giving you contrasting textures so that your palate is kind of kept alive and surprised the whole time you eat.
That's that experience that you're
That's part of the
speaking about.
experience, yeah. So at this point, we're just gonna quickly move over with our pan, and we'll just set our beef on the board. And what's really important about this is giving it an opportunity to rest now.
Okay.
So the key when we're doing the dots on the plate is you want to be a little bit close, and you just kind of go your own speed, but you want to keep them random and odd numbered. I'm gonna let you kind of finish it off. Imagine though that you're working with just the half of the plate. So at this point, we need to bring the star of the show in, which is our beef. So first cut's kind of the end cut, so it's no good, so you're just supposed to eat it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And you can see the tenderloin just wants to fall apart, so having a really sharp knife is key at this point. We'll bring it, and we just do we need a few more components for this to become tataki, and one of those is ponzu sauce. So here at Harvest, we make our own. It's like a citrus soy sauce, and we just drizzle it over this beef now. It's gonna add a little bit of saltiness to it as well. Whenever I've had like a beef tartare or a rare beef, one of my favorite things is just a little egg yolk. It adds some richness and fattiness, but we didn't want to just pour an egg yolk on there. So what we've done is cured our egg yolks.
Look at that.
It's just a salt and sugar combination. Literally like cheese, we're grating some fresh egg yolk. It's all gonna add flavor. This dish my dad has never had anywhere else. He's never seen it. And it's like his favorite thing in the world. And for me, that was just a really special moment. So if you have a chance to try beef tataki in your town, do so, and then come here and taste what it should taste like.
Yeah, chef. Rusty and his wife Christy are creating a remarkable dining experience in their Saskatchewan small town. Their restaurant is a destination for people from all over, and they do it by staying true to the ingredients, like ranch fresh beef found in their own community.
And so people would try and challenge that standard in 72 minutes.
Here we are, guys. On the right closest to Christy and Vince, we're doing a bison tartare studded with fresh Saskatoon berries, and underneath is smoked beef bone marrow.
That's been slow roasted and salted. And then over here for you guys, just so you get your greens while you're doing your meat, we have what we call our harvest salads. So dig in, enjoy. I'll be right back.
Incredible. Thank you, Chef.
Yep, thank you.
What's it like having a chef at home?
He doesn't cook at home, actually. We do get to taste test a lot of the food first and try the wine out, which is nice.
Yeah. To bring these tastes and these flavors to rural Saskatchewan, people here deserve just as great a food as people in the cities, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to come for a treat 15 minutes away, and we get to taste what we're raising without doing any work.
God, it's that creating an experience around eating as well, and the pleasure of sharing good food and company, and that's why people come from all over to eat here.
It's the feeling you get of going to your mom's house and having a great meal with your friends and your family, and you leave usually with a hug.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Wow.
The beef. So we have roasted fingerling potatoes for you guys, charred broccolini. The puree is made from ugly carrots, which are the ones that aren't cute enough to make it in the grocery store, but still taste just as good. And then we have our maple bourbon and green peppercorn sauce. And of course, the star of our show, our Tomahawk ribeye steak, which has been finished with just a touch of truffle butter. We're gonna take this just off the bone first.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Look at that.
See, I guess for me as a cattle rancher in our business, to see this kind of, like our theme was pasture to plate, raise them and have the good folks of harvest here prepare the end product, it's just, that's so gratifying. It just really is.
There's no hard work that's worth it in life if you can't share down and share a meal with friends, you know?
There are a lot of ups and downs in every industry, but this here makes it so worthwhile as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
So worthwhile.
So hopefully, knowing all the hard work that went into this meal, it's gonna taste fantastic. All right, let's dig in.
And cheers, everyone.
Yes,
cheers.
Salute.
From the rolling fields in the south to the boreal forests in the north, Saskatchewan's food bounty overflows. As an author and journalist, I've spent the last decade tasting the best the province has to offer and telling stories to help us reconnect with our food. I'll take you on a field-to-plate journey to discover our finest ingredients and the people behind it all. Because this isn't just my story, it's Saskatchewan's.
It started in my teenage years working in big chain restaurants. I felt kind of drawn to the kitchen, the personalities, the knives, the fire, like it was very interesting to me. And that's just kind of sent me down this path of learning as much as I can. I just became so laser focused on that for most of my adult life.
When we started in Saskatoon, the culinary scene wasn't nearly what it is now. There was, a couple of restaurants, but once you'd worked in those, there was nowhere to go. So I think the best way to learn to cook is to get as much experience with as many different people and as many different chefs as you can. So for us, that meant bigger cities with lots of restaurants.
I think everyone should probably live in a different city than the one that they grew up at some point in their life. It just allows you to broaden your horizon. And I think I left Saskatoon saying to myself, I'll never come back to this city, But you go to another place and you feel the pull. And we've always felt that pull.
I've trained in different bigger cities, and I feel that if I've trained in those bigger cities, I can take that knowledge and bring it back to my hometown. And it has a ton of meaning to me to be where my friends and family are, and I want people to be able to taste everything we have around us and for it to really bring them home and bring some meaning to where they are.
In Saskatchewan, we're very lucky to have a really tight culinary community. For example, when We were still catering, we became friends with Christy, and it's nice to have someone who really does understand the struggles you're going through and can offer help or just listen.
We felt very welcomed here, and there was never someone saying, oh, you're opening a restaurant? Like, I have a restaurant, you know, it was cool. Like, let's hang out, let's feed each other, let's drink together.
We have a really great time together, and we're able to talk shop a little bit and like discuss the ups and downs of being chef owners and the restaurant business and different ingredients and different inspirations for different dishes. And it's just like so nice to have somebody to talk about the things that are in our everyday life.
I was first exposed to foraging mushrooms when we lived in Vancouver. My first day in a kitchen there, the chef kicked the back door open. He had been on Vancouver Island that morning, and he had brought back all of these various mushrooms. And I'm a new guy in the kitchen, so I'm brushing and trimming and all of this, but just every one was like a jewel. You know, if I touch this one, it turns blue. This one's purple in the middle. You know, it's the smell, everything about them. I'm drawn to them.
Chanterelles grow all over the place, but it's our opinion that the very best ones grow in Saskatchewan. They're a little bit peppery and sweet, and they have this fantastic texture, and they really do taste like the forest smells.
People connect with the mushrooms that we serve here because we connect with them so much, and it has its own flavors. It seems to change whether you can shave them raw and they smell of stone fruit, peaches maybe, and as you cook them they kind of intensify. They have a really pleasing texture. It's not crisp, but it's just present and beautiful. With the volume that we do at the business, we have people that forage for us often, but every year and every season that we can get out for, we go out, we find our own little batch, we bring it back, we serve it at the restaurant, and that's super important for us to kind of see that from start to finish.
For the 3 Saskatoon chefs and friends, their favorite way to spend a day together is foraging for chanterelles, and they invited me along to join them. Wild chanterelle mushrooms are Saskatchewan's forest jewels. They grow in the boreal forest where the prairies meet the Canadian Shield.
We did truly get the most beautiful day for this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What are we looking for when we're out foraging, you guys?
Little bright orange pops of color.
It's so magical how once you see one, then you can start to see
You're right,
more
look
and
at
more. The magic just takes over.
There's so many.
There's little perfect tops everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Being a chef restaurateur, it's really good to have friends that are in the same boat and doing the same things. So coming out here with Thane and Beth is just a literal breath of fresh air, and it's so surreal. Like, it's just beautiful, because I've definitely tried to go on my own and found like 2 mushrooms. So it's beautiful that they know the spot and that they would share that with another fellow restaurateur, and that there's such a good community around it.
When we're looking for chanterelles, they grow in a very specific type of forest in Saskatchewan. It's generally older growth. It's easy to walk through. The ground is carpeted with reindeer moss, and you're just looking for little depreciations in the ground, perhaps where a little extra moisture has condensed, and then you'll see these mushrooms popping up here and there. It's just like a beautiful walk in the woods.
What I love about chanterelles is I love the hunt for them and the smell of them, and I just think that they're such an incredible Saskatchewan ingredient. As soon as those mushrooms hit the pan, it's unmistakable. There's nothing else that smells like that, and once you've had that, you wait for chanterelle season all year long, so it's really beautiful.
How can you tell it from other mushrooms?
So chanterelles are one of the few mushrooms that has the gills from the cap itself that are attached to the stem. Often you'll see the gills go towards the stem but then break clean off, and it's easy to snap right at that point, where these are like literally a vase shape, and they slowly integrate into the stem itself. Once you see one, you're going to start to kind of see more.
The magic just takes over.
It's like a little treasure hunt.
The bright orange mushrooms hide in the reindeer moss on the forest floor. They can be difficult to find at first, but once you start finding them, it's hard to leave the forest.
Look at this! Oh my gosh!
Nice find.
Look at them coming up.
Where you see reindeer moss, where you see old growth jack pine, there's a good chance you might see chanterelles.
Look, there's a bunch growing under this log.
You can kind of see how they've like clung to moisture. You know, the sun is beating down all around it, but there's this little area under the log where.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
The chanterelles have to like push up through the moss so they get cleaned on the way up, and they're like stout and beautiful and pristine.
Yeah, that's what makes the Saskatchewan ones so awesome. They're always just
Look at that.
sturdy and perfect.
And they're never
beautiful.
as pristine as this moment right here. You know,
Wow.
It's a strange business to get into, to own a restaurant. It's a strange business to get into, to be a chef, and to do them together is kind of idiotic. So we really thrive on connections with other people that are doing the same thing as us. There is a lot of camaraderie here, and I think it has a lot to do with the place that we live in.
Look at this! Oh my gosh!
Nice find.
Look at them coming up.
Nice.
I feel like a regular mushroom forager now.
We also try to leave the occasional mushroom to let it fully spore out and propagate the next generation.
I like that.
Especially if it's an older mushroom.
Yeah.
They're just so beautiful and so unique, and Dana and I had tried for years to find them, but people are secretive about their mushroom spots, which I respect. Eventually, we found our very first mushroom, and to be clear, not like a patch, like one. And we were so happy, and we had a little moment, and we hugged, and we looked at it, and we looked at it, but now we're getting better at it.
Oh, it's so pretty. That color is so perfect.
I love it so much.
Let's break it up.
Yeah.
Just like it's meant to come apart like that. It's so
Yeah, it
beautiful.
can split perfectly.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
up.
It's
Juicy.
buttery too.
And spicy.
You know the pepper?
Peppery, like,
I've never tasted a chanterelle from the forest floor like that. That's incredible.
I'm really excited about what we've got. Let's go cook these up.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like the taste of freshly picked chanterelles, so we set up a forced picnic lunch to enjoy the classic mushrooms on toast.
The people here are really special and really warm, and the community here is really supportive, and that's really different from some of the major centers we worked in. Saskatchewan might not have the population of somewhere like Ontario or BC, but it's easy to feel alone in those big, big places, and it's impossible to feel alone here.
How would you describe the smell of these?
it's every smell that we're presently smelling in this forest. You know,
concentrated into.
Yeah, the sun is beating down, it's warming the pines, there's a little breeze, and it all seems to come together when you smell these mushrooms. In they go.
Oh, look at those little mushrooms in the sun.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
The smell when they hit that hot pan, yeah, I love it. It's so fun to watch them go from that brilliant sunrise, orangey yellow, and they're gonna just start to slowly deepen and intensify. Yeah.
The flavor and the smell of chanterelles, as soon as those mushrooms hit the pan, it's unmistakable. There's nothing else that smells like that. It's just absolutely incredible. So it really becomes a sensory memory. And once you know that, and once you've had that, you wait for chanterelle season all year long. So it's really beautiful.
Look at the color already. Like it's deepening up, getting like those caramel edges. Are chanterelles your favorite mushroom to cook with, or do you have others?
The chanterelles are just so unique to this province, and they're such high quality. They're the best in the world.
Foraging companies use Saskatchewan as a marketing ploy to sell mushrooms. These are Sask chanterelles. They're often called.
I think they should be on our flag.
Yeah, that's so smart. And yeah, we just drove a couple hours outside of Saskatoon to get like the best mushrooms in the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little drink, my friends.
In 2020, we won part of Canada's 100 best restaurants. We landed at 85, and that was a very intense feeling and something we're extremely proud of, not just for our restaurant, but for this province as a whole.
We've watched that list since its very beginning, and being named one of the top 100 restaurants, it was so exciting to be on it.
Like, it still kind of gives me shivers down my back to think about it. We're very privileged to have that happen.
Being out here is just so inspirational. Like, I want to create a dish that looks like this, that smells like this, and that's like the essence of those chanterelles, and really bring people to the place that we are, but in the restaurant.
It's special getting to see something the whole way through from beginning to end. Collecting them and cleaning them and then preparing them and then watching guests enjoy them, it's like closing a loop. It's satisfying.
It was important for us to be a part of this kind of growing food scene that's here. We're not at any time being interested in being like Vancouver or like Toronto or Calgary. This is Saskatoon. This is Saskatchewan. We're happy exactly how we are.
It was a wonderful day with the 3 chefs. I gained a new appreciation for chanterelles and how to forage respectfully. We head back to Saskatoon, where Christy has something unique to show me with our freshly picked forest jewels.
Everything has to have meaning for me, so there's a ton of thought that goes into each dish based on where we are in our seasons and what's available, what's grown well that season. We have to really be thoughtful of how we're going to use that on the menu and how we're going to sustain with those ingredients all winter long, because it is a very long, harsh winter here. I've worked in so many kitchens and none of them have taken it quite as far as we do here. Nothing goes to waste. Like even like the humble beet stem, we won't even get rid of that. We'll be chopping that up and lacto-fermenting that and making some sort of conserve out of it. Each dish is very carefully thought through, and each ingredient is also very carefully handled. Basically, Saskatchewan, we need to keep everything preserved because there's such a short growing season and we have a long winter. And the abundance of chanterelles, we make sure that we can lacto-ferment them and can them and pickle them so that we have them all year long. And a really important Saskatchewan representation of what we have here. They're just so beautiful. I just love the fragrance, that unmistakable fragrance as soon as they hit the pan and as soon as they come through the door. They're definitely a staple on the menu.
After we returned from the forest, Christy invited me to learn about preserving chanterelles.
Ooh, welcome to the chef's kitchen. Yeah, so this is my little laboratory where I've been doing all my experiments and trying out new things and doing my preservation. Lately, I've just been loving lacto-fermentation because it's all it takes is salt. It's magical.
So cool. Yeah, teach me about it, please. I need to learn more.
Basically, like these are an example. Like this is a sauerkraut that's been lacto-fermented, so it's basically just cabbage and salt. And it turns into sauerkraut. So that's the one everyone's most familiar with.
That's it? Like you just add salt with cabbage and you get this texture and flavor of sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
It's so simple.
The bacteria does the work for us. It's amazing. Awesome. Basically the science behind it is that the lactobacillus is the bacteria that thrives in a salty environment, whereas other bacteria die. So it always wins out and it turns whatever sugars are naturally present in the ingredient into lactic acid, which gives us that beautiful pickle flavor that everyone's in love with. So it's really, really simple. And not only does it preserve the ingredient itself, it also preserves the texture as well as all of the nutrients. So I'm just so excited about this way of fermenting and preserving.
Yeah, of course. And then you get to open this jar in the middle of winter and get that texture and flavor and taste of the summer cabbage in the middle of winter. And it's good for you too.
Oh, there's nothing like it. It's really magical. So I want to show you how to do it.
Yay! Will I be able to do this at home?
Oh, you're gonna laugh once you see how simple it is. So we've got our beautiful forest chanterelles, the jewels of the forest that we picked yesterday.
Oh, I still just love them so much.
I know, they're so amazing. That smell. And so we really want to like preserve that and concentrate that because they don't last forever. So it's as simple as I'm just gonna weigh out my amount of chanterelles. You can help me put some in the jar if you want.
This knowledge about preserving and fermenting is just so integral if we want to really keep our sights on what we grow here and how to extend the season, right?
It's almost like a lost art, honestly. So
how are we doing there?
I think we're good. Let's stop here so we have some room to kind of mix. So we have 500 grams of chanterelles. So we're gonna do a 2% salt. That's kind of the most basic. That's what you would do for sauerkraut. That's what you can do for cucumbers. So the 2%, that would be 10 grams of salt. So this is a really beautiful kosher sea salt. Just use a really high quality salt that's not like iodized. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that over the mushrooms.
Why does the higher quality salt make a difference?
There's something about the iodized salt. It's just not, it gives it a strange flavor. It's not as clean. And I'm just gonna put the lid on and we're gonna give it a little
shake?
Give it a little shake. And so it's pretty wild that this ends up turning into this, which is the finished product. And look at how deep the color is and how much liquid has come out. And that's all concentrated chanterelle flavor right in there.
Wow, this color's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let this sit out at room temperature for It depends on the temperature in the room, but like a few days to a week or two. And every day I'm just going to give it a little turn and make sure the salt's distributed and give it a little taste and see where we're at. Just because once it reaches a point of deliciousness, that's when it's time to stop the fermentation. And so you can stop the fermentation by putting it in the refrigerator or freezing it. So would you like to try a finished product?
Definitely, please.
Perfect.
I can't believe this color.
Oh my God, I know. It's the forest is just concentrated in this beautiful chanterelle. And the liquid is even really useful for seasoning things.
Thank you.
It's almost like a caper, like a pop of pickle flavor with like a balance of salt and then that earthiness coming through from the chanterelle.
Wow.
I know.
Fermentation is a simple tradition long used to preserve the harvest in Saskatchewan and to ensure there was enough food to last through the cold winter months. Lacto-fermentation just takes salt and further intensifies chanterelle's flavor.
Okay, so what do we have? What did you make for us?
We have lovely Pineby Farms ribeye here. We have some potato and ricotta agnolotti with fresh and cooked chanterelles. We have some green beans and roasted onions, a little green salad, and some grandma pickles.
Did you pickle them yourselves too?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. These chanterelles are gorgeous. Look at them. And from seeing them in the forest yesterday to on the plate today, like it's pretty special, like tracing the whole journey.
Yes.
Do you remember being in Vancouver and then getting Saskatchewan chanterelles?
Oh, totally.
Saskatchewan chanterelles.
All the time. It would blow my mind. And we'd get BC chanterelles.
Oh, no good.
Yeah, and then we just blew my mind that every restaurant in Vancouver was getting these Saskatchewan chanterelles, and I would be so proud. I would say, yes, they're from where I'm from.
Yeah.
How common is it to be a chef and a restaurateur? Like, it doesn't feel very common at all.
Like, it's just such a stupid amount of work. So when you have other people that understand it, you can kind of like look at them and be like, damn. And then they can be like, I know. And then you can kind of just go from there. None of our employees want to hear it. None of our regular friends can understand.
Well, no, because if they think when you say you work 16 hours that you're being hyperbolic,
Yeah,
and you know that we're not.
Yep. Really makes me take for granted being an employee, though. Holy crap.
Oh, those were the days.
But we didn't know they were the days. We were like, can't wait to own our own restaurant, but we should have been like, steady paycheck that I don't have to worry about. That's sweet.
It's a hard grind, and it's tough on everything around it. It's tough on your body. It's tough on relationships, friendships. It's something we've all kind of talked about before, where there's kind of that like pioneer, get her done elbow grease that happens here. And I'd like to think that we inherited a little bit of that and the do-it-yourself vibe that we all have.
The fact that we've come together and we're in the same industry, we want to support each other. So I think it's a very Saskatchewan thing. Yeah.
I feel like you met us and we just looked like a bunch of crazy people in the forest. We're like, you gotta find these mushrooms, like they're really good. But it's infectious, you know? You saw our passion for it and you immediately got it, I think. And to see it from forests to being in the back of the truck, to have us think about a thoughtful way to use them, to put them on the table, to share that love with you is such a special thing for us.
Well, cheers to work-life balance and delicious food.
Cheers.
Thank you for such an incredible meal. So honored to share it with you.
It was delicious.